Oh, hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. A bit late than usual. It is what it is. Some errands must be done. Family obviously always comes first. But we are here. We are live. And today on the agenda, we're going to talk still about Arsenal, of course. What else? And we're going to talk about the tough times that are ahead of us. Can Arteta survive this? Can Arsenal survive this? Will we get more injuries? Will something go wrong or everything will be fine and all that good stuff we gonna talk about today. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to leave your thoughts down the live chat so we can tackle them and we can discuss them. So yeah, tough times for Arsenal definitely are coming upon us, and I don't know what to expect, because this is one of those situations, one of those unexplored territories per se, that could maybe be a blessing in disguise. At the same time, it could be beginning of the darkness and dark times. Which one is gonna be? Because I don't think Arsenal will maintain a stationary, a linear position. It's either going to go upwards or it's going to spiral downwards out of control a tiny bit. One of the two is going to happen, and the questions obviously remains. Can Arteta survive this? Can he manage this? Can he get rid of this? Can he do things the proper way? Let's just put it that way, because definitely it feels like we are cooked. We are cooked to a certain extent. And that definitely is something we need to talk about, we need to address, we need to discuss. And that is going to be very, 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 very interesting, to say the least, because I'm not gonna lie, there are some news regarding Arsenal, of course, as well today, which are quite interesting, to say the least. But only time will tell how they're gonna basically develop, how they're gonna become, how they're gonna basically, how to put this lightly, present themselves, because circumstances definitely won't be too favorable as of now, and time only will tell what is what and where we land, of course. Big up Mubarak, big up, can survive. Yes, despite Magalhaes injury, Arsenal remain tough according to the depth and quality players having. Technically speaking, yes. On paper, it's one thing. In reality, it's a completely different thing, because we all know that on paper, Arsenal have a squad that should be beating about 95 to 97% the teams we are facing at the end of the day. In reality, it's not the case, is it? It never is the case. Football is played on the pitch and not on the paper, hence why lots and lots of questions are about to be answered, because there are no more international breaks, tough schedules are coming, January transfer window is coming, and definitely there will be lots and lots of discussions and talking points regarding that. Big up, Hendon. Big up, big up, big up. It's freezing here in London. Don't worry, here in Riga it's freezing as well. It was raining snow today. It was kind of nuts. Big up, Marlon. Arteta out. Hospital CEO is in training, yes. And since you're mentioning this, I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Yes. Joga finito. Joga no nito. The Brazilian knee hospital merchant is back in training. The question is, will he play? How soon will he play? Because based on his injuries he has had, the amount of time he has missed, I don't want him to be rushed back into the team. I want slow, steady, and gradual integration back into the team, no matter what the circumstances are. Because it's better to integrate him slowly, and over 5, 6, 7 game time period, he becomes better and better. He gains match fitness and everything, than actually rushing him back like Arteta did before, and he gets injured 2 games later, and he's again out for half a year. Let's be real, people. Let's be real. Big up, Andrew. Big up, big up, big up. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Injury boost up Gyökeres. Hopefully. Big up, Abs. Big up, Abs. Hope you're doing well. Waffle Don is in the house. Waffle Don is in the house, people. If you haven't already, also go subscribe to Waffle Don. Show him some love. Show him some appreciation. One of the biggest supporters of the channel as well. Go show him some appreciation if you haven't already. Sub to Waffle Done, people. Top guy, top content, top lad. Does amazing content there on his channel. Lots of panel shows, lots of Arsenal fans coming on, even rival fans coming on in recent times. Does lots of watch alongs internationally and the club level. So definitely a food for thought, and I definitely would suggest you following him, of course. Come on, yes, Gyökeres going back. Yeah, it changes a lot. Definitely, we have a real number 9 up top. Yeah, that depends how he gets used. That is the other thing. Let's all pray on. Yeah, let's hope the knees are good. Let's hope the knees are good. And subscribe to Waffledon. Subscribe to Waffledon. As you can see, Dub is separated because with him it's only it's only dubs. It's only dubs, nothing else. But yeah, Joga Finito is back in the training, in full team training, which is actually very, very big news because he was training alone for quite a while, for a few months now, and he's been added to the squad for full physical contact team training, which is very interesting. Going to be interesting to see how he develops, how his knees and how he himself responds to this, and how it's how he's gonna get put back into the team at the end of the day. As I said, I want slow, steady, gradual integration into the team. No rushing, no panic, none of that. If Gyökeres gets injured and Merino gets injured, play Anush, play Trossard there, but give slow and gradual integration into the team for Gabriel Jesus, no matter what you want to say. Moving on a tiny bit, here it is. Ethan Nwaneri. Ethan Nwaneri has been one of the hot topics at the moment as well. Hot topics on the in Arsenal's fan base because Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri could leave Arsenal on loan in January to get attacking midfield more game time and start. Nwaneri signed a new deal, keeping him at the club till 2030. So he has a 5-year deal, which is great, obviously. He's being used largely from the bench, and I'm not gonna lie, Ethan Nwaneri has played very, very small amount of minutes given the circumstances Arsenal have been in throughout the course of the season. At the end of the day, Arteta had opportunities to play him in the attack on the right, on the left, in the 10. Arteta said he wants to see him as a number 9 maybe in a few years. Why not try him there if you really, really want to as well? But Arteta definitely had opportunities to play Ethan Nwaneri much, much more. Let's just put it that way. Not to mention the fact the whole summer when we were talking about Nwaneri and his new deal, on the main points and stipulations in his new contract was the fact that, well, let's be real, he wants to get more game time. And it's very evident that he hasn't. Very evident. Since that Real Madrid debacle last season, it has gone very downhill. Let's just put it that way. So at the moment, he's looking for some loan time, potentially. Arsenal might be looking for some loan time, 100%. Yeah, Nwaneri scored a banger for under 21s. He scored an absolute screamer. Fantastic goal. But yeah, if we are going down this speculation route that Nwaneri could go out on loan, where would you want him to go out on loan to? Which clubs do you envision in Premier League, outside of Premier League, going out to loan? Which clubs are you potentially seeing where he could go to? Because for me, there are about 4 options personally. For me personally, there are 4 options, and it would be very interesting to see how he does in either of those. But let me know your thoughts first in the chat. Let me know what you think where Nwaneri could go or should go if Arsenal decide to loan him out. Yeah, certified banger, just like Kieran Tierney, scored a winning goal for Scotland and carried them into the World Cup. Kieran Tierney looks like a very good left back, by the way. Arsenal should look at him to sign him as well. Good injury record as well in the last season or so since he has left a specific club. So why not? Why shouldn't Arsenal take a punt on Kieran Tierney, right? Right? But yeah. Personally, for me, with Ethan Nwaneri, it's a very tough subject because he's one of those players that deserves game time at Arsenal, without shadow of a doubt. And given the circumstances of Madueke's injuries, Martinelli's injuries, Odegaard's injuries, you would have expected him to play much, much more. Even with Saka's injuries and everything, you would have expected him to play much, much more. But he hasn't. Obviously, he hasn't, and besides Mikel Arteta, I don't see a reason why. I genuinely don't see a reason why he hasn't played as much. Yes, the certain games he has played, he hasn't looked the greatest. I'm not gonna lie, he has had a bit of a stinker. That I'm gonna be honest with you. At the same time, you can't expect that from a guy like that. On top of that, what can you expect from a player that doesn't get constant minutes into the club, who doesn't play constantly every game, even from the bench? What can you expect? Because this is the same situation as we had with Emil Smith Rowe, with Trossard when he just came to the club. Because Trossard should have had player of the month performance, two player of the months. But just like when Arteta did the same thing, he has 1-2 good games, he looks fantastic, then he holds bench for the next month. Arteta treated the same way Emil Smith Rowe, Trossard back in the day, and he's doing the same with Wanyeri. So the next time they come on and they play, basically Arteta throws them on the pitch to save the day. And how can you expect anyone to save the day when they don't play a lot? I just don't get it. It doesn't add up to me. It's like, I don't know, it's like a car who hasn't been running for whole winter. You try to turn it on and you'll get the because the battery is down. You need new battery for the car because it's out. You're gonna need to get a new one. You need to practice. You need to put it into gear. You need to basically light the spark. You need energy. You need experience and all this stuff. You need time. Personally, I wouldn't loan him out unless we are going for some kind of loan in January. But maybe League 1 for a year next season. Can't see him playing Serie A and don't really want him in Premier League. Bundesliga, maybe. Yeah. For me personally, sending out Ethan Wanyeri on loan if he's not getting game time, even for half a season since January till the end of the season, it's a smart move. At the end of the day, it's a smart move. But when I suggested it already in summer, when I said this on these streams as well, people called me dumb, deluded, and stupid because everyone said that Wanyeri is gonna get buttload of minutes. Now fast forward 3 months, 4 months. I rest my case. I rest my case at the end of the day. That is the biggest thing. And for me personally, ideal scenarios would be Brighton, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, Strasbourg, although that's a Chelsea team, he probably is not going to get loaned out there. Nice, if Ineos doesn't own them, maybe Lyon. It seems like that, where he can play, where he can replace specific issues that certain clubs are missing. I definitely believe so. That could be good options. Big uproot. Send Ethan out on loan. Yes, if he doesn't get game time, yeah. Why loan out Ethan? He should be playing now. Play him as a striker in the north. That's the thing. Why we should be loaning him out when he should be playing right now. Ethan and Max Dauman already look better than, I would say, about 70% of our attacking players in general, right? But Arteta doesn't see it that way. He wants to win his way with the players he's signed. And at the end of the day, he doesn't want to use the players who actually have saved his bacon in previous seasons. Remember, Emil Smith Rowe and Saka saved his job 4 years ago. What happened? Emil Smith Rowe gets sold. Skelly and Wanyeri partially saved his season, especially Skelly big time, saved his bacon last year. Skelly doesn't get a kick pretty much anymore. Wanyeri doesn't get a kick anymore. Arteta just uses them when it's convenient and useful for them, and then just bins them. It's like swatting a fly at the end of the day. And that is the biggest thing. And if you are not going to play him for consistent minutes, constantly, even for 15, 20 minutes every game off the bench pretty much, might as well loan him out. Genuinely, might as well loan him out. Why not? Because yes, I agree with you, Hendon. He should be playing now. But he should have already played looking at the injuries we have sustained in the attack. With Havertz, Jesus, Madueke, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard. There were loads of options to play Wanyeri on the right, in the 10, maybe even as a number 9, even as a left wing. And how many minutes he got in those games? Pretty much nada. So I would definitely would be pro loaning him out if that is the case. If Arteta doesn't count on him to the such high level. Why don't have any fit strikers? Ethan would be good. We could try him there. Why not? Why not? Martinelli is not there. Anush is there. Arteta doesn't also use Anush, who is out and out, who is actually a striker, not like Wangieri, who would be converted number 10 into right wing, who converts into a striker, who is genuinely like a Pokemon, like Ditto, who can shapeshift into anyone. Like, that is actually kind of nuts. Big up, Stockholm Gunnar. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Good evening. Ethan is too good. Yeah, he is too good to go out on loan. The thing is, though, he doesn't play. And that is the big ironic aspect of this situation. Ethan is too good to go out on loan because he's good enough to play for this team. And Ethan is also way too good to sit on the bench pretty much every single game and be lucky even if he's included in the match 18th players even on the bench. And at the end of the day, nobody is a winner in this case. Nobody is a winner because the club loses, because that would be a very good option in the attack, and Ethan loses because that basically halts and stifles his development, his abilities. He doesn't get the practice and everything. And even if he plays for Arsenal right now, due to the lack of game time, he will start maybe a few games or play quite a bit in the next few games. He will get injured because he doesn't play. He doesn't have the match sharpness, the match fitness. And then again, we all will say, oh, why didn't he go out on loan? Get him away from this manager. He constantly injures every single player we have, overusing them and mismanaging them. So at the end of the day, if we are looking for kind of golden middle route, best of both worlds type of situation, loaning out Ethan Wangieri might be the best option. Let's just put it that way. Yes, Kelly also barely plays. Exactly. Why not try him on the left wing and see what he can do? Exactly. We've been talking about this. But Arteta doesn't wanna, and that's very evident. So what can we do here? The fact Wangieri isn't getting the minutes is definitely a personal issue. Exactly. That is an agenda. Since many top Gunners want to say, we, for example, including myself, have an agenda against Arteta. Arteta has an agenda against these players. Surely, it has to be. There's no explanation why they don't play. There cannot be a logical explanation. Heck, even Anu should be playing up top. Yeah, if Gyökeres is out, Merino has to be in midfield as well. Play Anush up top. Give him time. See what he can do. Because at this stage, we can try it out. While we are still at the top, while still we have options. Or you're going to try to basically run this team into the ground. By March, we'll be 15 points behind Man City, most likely at this pace. And then you're going to play Anush. And even then you're not. Because we saw last year, whenever we had zero chance in winning the league, these youngsters still didn't get a sniff of a game. Especially when Yeri I'm talking about here. Charles Ago Jr. would be interesting, definitely. Unfortunately, that's the issue. What would we do as fans is one thing. It might be right or it might be wrong. The fraud will still do this his way. Exactly. It's Arteta's way or the highway at the end of the day. 100%. Big up BBK Sports. Big up BBK Sports. One of the top guys in the community. One of the top guys in the community. What a guy. What an Arsenal fan. Top lad. Not enough words to describe how supportive and genuine this guy is. 100%. How does Odegaard play before Wangieri? Well, he's the Capitan. He's El Capitan. He's the skipper. He's Arteta's adopted child and everything. We all know how this goes. Exactly. Our academy players 100% deserve better. Same as in the last 2 years, we have let go from our academy about 30, 35 players, right? Some of them could have been in this team. And we let them go for free. We could have sold some of those players, and cumulatively, for those 30 players, we could have gotten about 90 to 100 million as well. Easily. And that's insane. Answer very honestly, bro. Don't see any place in this team for Ethan and Skelly when These are all squad players. They are not first team on the sheet players. For Arteta, definitely not. For me, I would love for them to play constantly. I would love to. Especially Max Dauman. They should be included in constant rotation. Because you cannot tell me that Max Dauman and Ranieri are that bad that they cannot play over Martinelli. Oh, but he has defensive work rate. So what are we gonna do now? Sign best defensive attacking left wingers in the world? Or what we gonna do here? Like that's the nuts part. To send him on loan, it's okay, but what if Eze Odegaard both get injured? Deal with it then. Because at the end of the day, you still have your Havertzes, your Trossards who can play there. You still have what's its face, Max Dauman. You have players to play there at the end of the day. No matter how you look at it, you have players you can put in that spot. Adapt. But just to put this guy on the bench, waste him on the bench, where you register him from the game, for the game, pretty much every single game most of the time, and the closest he gets to the pitch is when he does some random warm-ups on the sidelines, that is just pure, utter shared disrespect towards the player. Because many people will tell that this player, in Ranieri, is better or on the same level, more or less, or almost at the level than many of our guys who are in the main rotation. If Arteta was Barca's manager, he would not trust La Masia. It feels that way, 100%. It feels that way. When they are the future, yeah. Big up, Jamboy. Big up, Jamboy. Hope you're doing well today, bro. What's the harm in trying the youth? If they don't work, it's okay, but you'll get more gems, more starters, more money, which is what KSC wants. Exactly. And if you have players promoted to the team that you know that not gonna play at least now in the team, do what Chelsea does. Loan them out. Eredivisie, Ligue 1, Ligue 2, Championship, Bundesliga, Bundesliga 2, there will be teams who are gonna take them. It's not a surprise, for example, that Okonkwo, right? We loaned him out to Wrexham. He had a fantastic season there. He had a fantastic season also at Sturm Graz. He comes back. Both of the clubs would love to sign him. Arsenal don't sell him, right? For any type of money. We loan him out again. He comes back. His contract is out. We let him go for free. Easily could have gone 3 to 5 million for him. Easily. Like, it's always this negligence at the end of the day. It's actually kind of nuts. And here is BBK's channel, people. Go subscribe to him. Show them some love. Already answered that. To me, Anush could be the first team. To be honest, we said the same thing about Mika Biereth and Forlin Balogun, and we have seen how that went. And this is why Arsenal will not win trophies with this fraud of a manager and his favorites. So, exactly, he has his favorites. And unfortunately, every player that is not in Arteta's good books or in his good list, like, Santa Claus has the names that are naughty and that are nice. Arteta has his nice list very, very long. And unfortunately, these youngsters are nowhere near that at the moment. Next thing, Arteta is going to have inverted goalkeepers and center backs. To be honest, we already have an inverted goalkeeper. We have a goalkeeper who spends about, 5 to 10% of the game outside his own box, outside the penalty area. Sometimes even you can see him at the center circle. Like, that's actually kind of nuts as well. He's left-wing attacker, goal scorer, and that's his job. Defending, exactly. Oh, with all the injuries we have, then Ranieri should be playing. This is not having a squad. Exactly. And even with the injuries, they are not even getting a sniff of a game. Yep, and he bear most... Exactly. We can't afford to loan out any players as there will be more injuries coming, especially in the upcoming Christmas. That is the biggest thing. Because if we loan Ranieri out, we actually put ourselves at a risk of putting ourselves short. But at the same time, to keep Ranieri on the bench and just wait for something to happen, misfortune to happen for the main guys, and then hope that he will be ready to come into the team instantly, even though Arteta doesn't use them when he has the opportunity when other players are injured. That is just a massive wishful thinking. Massive wishful and unwishful thinking, because that is gone dark and good as well at the same time. And on top of all that, who knows? What if Wanjiri gets injured? What if Wanjiri gets injured as well? Because he will be sitting on the bench doing nothing, pretty much. And all of a sudden, if someone gets injured, bang, he will get asked to play 70 minutes, 80 minutes, full blast with no match fitness every game. He will again be so subject to injuries that it's actually going to be nuts. And let's be real, in that way, we're going to be risking his well-being and long-term future even at the club with putting him under this scrutiny as well. So it's a double-edged sword. You either loan him out and try your best, or, well, it goes sideways as well. Even my goalkeepers don't loan. Manouche has decent potential, yeah. If Wanjiri can't get a start with the injuries we have right now, he most certainly isn't when the squad is fit. Exactly. Loan best option for him, however, I'd be playing him where possible, so I wouldn't loan him. Exactly. There are positions where he can play. There are multiple positions where he can play. And in all of those positions for us, we have injuries, and he had very big opportunities to play there. And it's very evident that Arteta just doesn't want to use him. Because it's not just about the fact that Arteta might not think he's good enough, because I think Arteta knows, whether he wants to admit it or not, that he's good enough. It's also the fact that Mikel Arteta maybe is afraid that if he gets constant minutes, he picks up his form, he starts to perform, he will outshine his good boys, his adopted children. He will look better than Odegaard. What is that going to do to Arteta's ego when an 18-year-old is going to do an outshine his captain? He's one of his main guys. Like, we all know that there is some egomaniac situation going on. Nothing wrong with loaning out players, especially if some individuals neglect them. Exactly. There is no trust in young players to the level it should be. Maino is a decent example, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I would take Maino at Arsenal. People might disagree with me here, but I definitely would take Kobbie Mainoo at Arsenal. Mika Biereth could have gone 15 to 25 million. These youth players could fund signings like Semenyo and Rodrigo. Exactly. Mika Biereth, by the way, we sold him last summer for 3 million to Sturm Graz. 3 million. Half a year passed. Half a year. January transfer window. He went for... let me get this quote right. He went for 13 million to Monaco. 13 million with 2 million add-ons, so potentially for 15 million to Monaco. And for Monaco, in those 4 months he spent there last season, he got more goals than any of the Arsenal players throughout the whole goddamn year. Make that make sense. And that last season, we needed a striker desperately. Big up, Darren. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. If Wanjiri get playtime, we will know that this is the personal beef that Arteta has on him, like the ESR situation. Exactly. Yeah, Biereth and Balogun. Balogun is a bit more injury prone, to be honest, for Monaco, but he's scoring goals. Both of them are scoring goals for Monaco. If I was sporting director, I would spend 10 to 15 million on young talent from Brazil, Ireland, Argentina that would multiply to like 40, 50, maybe, and if you're lucky, a superstar. Yeah, that's what Chelsea does, what Porto, Benfica, all of those clubs do. They remain competitive, and they also make profits. On top of all that, if they get a gem, and Arsenal would be loving that. And to be honest, speaking of all of this, you know that Arsenal, in Arsenal's history, overall, there have only been 2 Argentinian players in this club. 2 players in our history have been from Argentina at Arsenal. Obviously, one is Emi Martinez, and the other one is from the 70s. Let me check this quickly. There have only been 2 Arsenal players, if I'm not mistaken, at Arsenal. Yeah, not from 90s, but yeah, look at this. 2 Argentinian players, Emi Martinez and Nelson Vivas. Late 90s and Emi Martinez. Only 2 Argentinians have been at Arsenal in Arsenal's almost 140 years, 139 years of Arsenal. Only 2 Argentinians have been here. Let that sink in. Let that goddamn sink in. How nuts is that? Seriously, how nuts is that? If you think about it. Even Ketia kind of cool. Well, it's a bit different story. Yeah, Vanjeri can play, I wouldn't say number 8, but 10, both wings, false 9s, so you have 4 positions even. Vanjeri is a street baller. That's the issue. He expresses himself. No, for Mikel Arteta, and that is the case. Just like Skelly as well. And on top of all that, Eze also plays like that. Have you noticed that Eze doesn't have the same freedom, same confidence to some extent? He doesn't do the same things he did before. He is being turned into a system player. What Pep Guardiola did to Jack Grealish when he got him from Aston Villa feels like what Mikel Arteta is doing to Eze. Because Jack Grealish at Villa, compared to City, then compared to Everton, 2 completely different players. And it feels like the same is happening with Eze. Genuinely feels that way. I really want, if we have an easy FA Cup game, to try Skelly Vanjeri Dauman midfield. It's hella attacking. It's definitely going to lack a bit defensively. But if we get someone like from League 3 or League 2, then yes. If we get Championship, Premier League side, no chance in hell. 100%. I barely know any Argentinian players from Arsenal. There are only 2. Nelson Vivas, late 90s, early 2000s, and Emi Martinez. Those are the only ones. Those literally are the only ones. That more than half the players here positions that are, yeah. No point signing a prospective gem from South America, as Arteta will ruin them. Name one player that Arteta has taken to the gem level, or he has taken a player and turned him. One player. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give him props for Gabriel Magalhaes. Right? Signed him from Lille. He had a bozo gene. It looked like it could go sideways real quick. But looking at Gabriel Magalhaes right now, I will give him Gabriel Magalhaes. Besides that, let's just put it that way. Big up, Sheldon. Big up, Sheldon. Hope you're doing well. We are cooked this month. Oh, bloody hell, yes, we are. And might be also next month. Early next month as well. I say start the strike. One reason I like Cesc, I know you don't want any ex-Arsenal, but he hates robotic football. Yeah, the thing is about Cesc, right? I'm not saying I don't want any ex-Arsenal players. If I want ex-Arsenal players only under one condition. If they prove that they can win. And Cesc hasn't done it, obviously. Only under those conditions. If they have been proven serial type of winners, right? Only then I would take an ex-Arsenal player, right? But Cesc has said himself, the game is won in the midfield. The midfield is basically more than half of your team. And in my country, where I come from, in Latvia, there is a saying, show me your midfield, and I will tell you what your team is all about. Because the midfield basically signifies the whole team, pretty much. And it shows. It definitely shows. But Cesc's philosophy about midfielders, about players having fun, allowing to express themselves, yes, there is tactics and system involved, but ultimately it's about player freedom, player movement, and everything. 100% is top notch. For me, it's only Gabriel. I would say for me, it's only Gabriel. Saliba was signed by Emery, and Arteta loaned him out multiple times. For me personally, the thing is, we signed White, and we all saw that he was quite poor at center back, to say the least. So we put him to the right back, which meant that we had a hole in center back position, which basically meant that Saliba had to stay because Arteta didn't have time to sign anyone else for that center back spot. For me, he lucked out with Saliba massively. Timber already was somewhat established for me personally. Hey, you cannot say that because Cesc himself wanted to come back to Arsenal after Barcelona, but Wenger himself denied the move. So it's not on Cesc, it's on Arsenal, and it's on Wenger. Gabriel, Timber, and even Saliba were already somewhat established talents before coming to Arsenal. Also, has Saka really improved that much since his time under Emery? Saka hasn't improved. His output has stayed or improved just because he is that good. Plus, it's also on Saka that 50+% of our attacks in previous years, especially, went through Bukayo Saka, which obviously gave him more opportunities to showcase himself. Let's be real. Saka's output has stayed the same or gone better. The issue is the fact that his performances on the eye and the way he presents himself on the pitch has dipped and partially disappeared. Because the Saka that was under Emery and when only Arteta came into the club, compared to Saka what we see right now, two completely different players to a certain extent. Saka has been dodged even for... Yeah. I love about Saliba being established, where you get that. Saliba wasn't established at the time when Arteta got him. But Arteta lucked out with him because he was forced to play him consistently and constantly, and it worked out. It worked out. Because from Saint Etienne at the time, both defenders, Fofana and Saliba. Fofana went to Leicester, if I'm not mistaken. Saliba went to Arsenal. At the time, Fofana was regarded as much better player as Saliba with better future. Obviously, he broke his leg, and that was all she wrote. Let's be real, to some extent. Saliba just pushed forwards and onwards. Obviously, with family passing and all this stuff, it kind of also affected him mentally and all this stuff. But yeah, Wanyeri is a bigger winner than most of our players. Yeah, to some extent. To some extent. Yeah, Timber was established. Young players were, yeah, exactly. In Ajax Academy, he was one of the leaders in the team already. Saliba was nearly on his way out of Arsenal before Ben White had a car crash. And yeah, exactly. That is the case. That's how I definitely see it. Definitely. Okay, but mate, I want to argue here. There are one gem for 4 to 5 trash. The ratio is worse. That is also the case. For Arteta, it's not great. For every 4 or 5, maybe even 6 signings he makes, one works out. Obviously, not every signing you're going to make is going to work out. But to have, in this retrospect, the fact that only 1 in 5 works out for you, it's not a good thing for a big club like this. Because we don't, as a big club, you don't have the luxury to a certain extent to basically take such a 1 in 5 type of gamble. Because if you're Brighton, Bournemouth, things like that, it's all great and fun. For big clubs, it either works out or you move on to the next instantly. There is no time with this betting process and all this stuff. Who's the best manager for young players? Oh, bloody hell. Cesc is good. Is it Ruben Sanchez? Is it Ruben Sanchez? Wait, let me check. Is it Ruben? Yeah, Ruben No, it's not Ruben Sanchez. Or is it Ruben Sanchez? Let me check. Michel Sanchez. Sorry. Michel Angel Sanchez Munoz. Michel Sanchez is very good. The Girona manager. Also depends. Definitely depends. Glasner would be a good shout. Big up Hendon as well. Glasner is a good shout. But we'll see. We'll see. Zidane is about to take the France job after the World Cup. From what I have read in the last few days, Zidane pretty much has said yes to becoming the France national team manager after the World Cup. Oh, in other news, by the way, Arsenal have finally confirmed that their sponsorship deal with Visit Rwanda, which we have never visited, by the way, will end in June 2026. After this season, after eight long seasons, our partnership with Visit Rwanda is over. And to some extent, thank goodness, because I'm not going to get into politics and all this stuff, what was happening with Rwanda and all that jazz. But if you know, you know. If you don't, go check it out. The deal with Arsenal's first sleeve sponsor began in 2018 and brought in 10 million according to club accountants for 23-24 season. It will be interesting to see who is going to be on Arsenal's sleeve next. Who is going to be the sponsor for Arsenal next? That for me is going to be very intriguing and a very, very curious thing to see. Yeah, I agree. Good. Like, it's actually kind of nuts based on how Arsenal have treated Ozil and other players now with Rwanda as well, that even if they go to this political type of route a tiny bit, it's going to be kind of nuts. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's a weird one. It definitely is a weird one in that regard. Anyways, anything else regarding Arsenal today? Because Arsenal are having very tough times coming on. Arsenal definitely having some tough times coming on. Eze in the training, Skelly, White in the training, Mikel Arteta chopping wood with Eze apparently, Jesus in full physical training, which is great. We'll see how that's gonna go. Kieran Tierney scored a phenomenal goal yesterday to carry Scotland into the World Cup. Great left back, to be honest. We should be looking at him. Let's see what else is there. Anything else regarding Arsenal? I'm just going over this like quickly, just talking over, like glossing over some Arsenal news and all this stuff. I know what I wanna. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this as well a tiny bit. I want to talk about this. Where is it? I want to see. Is it here? Or is it not? Oh, there we go. I want to talk about this as well. This is the stuff I also wanted to talk about. Open image in new tab. Okay. Let's do it in a second. I don't even rate this matchup, but I'm not gonna dogpile on him with the trash use of everyone. Well, not everyone's trash, but definitely you cannot say that his signing stuff has been brilliant. Is Gyökeres coming back? Apparently so. He might be. There are speculations, but I don't think he's gonna play against Spurs. Definitely not gonna play against Spurs. It's quite interesting that they say, oh, Gyökeres, he's under question marks, but could be available against Spurs, right? Arsenal still need to do some medical tests. And then it goes radio silent. 1 week passes, the game against Spurs comes closer, and all of a sudden David Ornstein comes out or someone comes out and says, well, Gyökeres is not going to be fit. The next sponsor will be some Chinese car manufacturing. What? Oh, I don't even, not gonna. How you think we're gonna manage this next 2 months, man? It's looking sticky like Chinese rice. Oh, it's gonna be rough. Especially, yes, we have few players coming back and all that jazz, but at the end of the day, those players that are coming back, it's good for depth technically speaking. At the same time, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight at the end of the day, in my opinion. But the defense is going to be a problem to some extent. It's also going to quite heavily, in my opinion, affect our set pieces in the attack, which is also going to be a big issue because, yes, we can score from open play. It will be definitely challenged right now. And if we get one more, two more injuries to specific positions, we could be cooked big time. We could be, by the end of the year, and I kid you not, about 5 to 10 points behind City already. Arsenal had the easiest games of Liverpool and City before the international break, and Arsenal have the hardest games after international break compared to City and Liverpool. So it's definitely gonna be a rough one, 100%. Yeah, the bend that Tierney got on that ball, that was fantastic, and you just mwah. Scotland game was mental, 100%. They'll end up giving away an Yeah, this is also true. Interesting that Tierney isn't so injury prone since leaving Arsenal. How does that even work out? Never rated Guendouzi. I agree, but he's going. Yeah, not training on a car park. Yeah, is the same thing goes with Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel Magalhaes didn't get injured in Germany, in Sweden, in Brazil, USA, I don't know, Egypt, Osaka, Japan. He got injured at the Emirates, by the way, for Brazil. Car park settings. Don't risk Gyökeres if he's not fully fit. Facts. Don't risk Gyökeres. Out with the medical staff. To some extent, Arteta does the training. Always remember that the medical staff work for the benefit of the club. They don't really have players' welfare at heart. It sometimes feels that way. Their job to get players fit to play. But this is the big thing. Remember what Jurriën Timber said in an interview to Dutch press before the season kicked off. He said to the medical staff that he was in massive pain. He barely could walk at times because of the pain. Medical staff does the scans. Oh, you're fine. Just go play. And that's how he played the second leg against PSG. There definitely something is not adding up there. 100% something is not adding up. Arteta is responsible for amount of playing time. These injuries are exactly. At the end of the day, these injuries are on Arteta. Yes, I will agree. Let's just say Odegaard's injury when he was with Norway last season, that's unlucky, right? Calafiori's injury last year when he did the splits for Italy, basically, right, and ripped his ball sack almost, unlucky. But all of the muscular injuries we are getting, all of these issues we are getting, that's on Arteta. Running players into the ground, no proper player management, rotation, or anything. So Guardiola made 35 signings, 8 to 10 make regular first team game. Arteta made 26 and only 10 first team game. It's just about the playing time. It's over the high intensity training. Yeah, it's everything together. Everything comes together. Anything can happen. Anyways, this is what I wanted to share. This is the first one. These are the Arsenal women's players that have been nominated for Globe Soccer Best Women's Player of 2025. Since Arsenal women's team won the Champions League against Barcelona, there are possibilities that something like that could happen, right? And the nominees are from Arsenal's women's team. Big up to Arsenal women's team, by the way. Won the second Champions League last year. Second time. Mariona Caldente left Barcelona, joined Arsenal, and beat Barcelona in the final. Alessia Rousseau, Leah Williamson, proper captain. Frida Mannum, of course, and Chloe Kelly. These are the Arsenal women's players that have been nominated for the best women player of 2025 for Global Soccer Awards. Now, all this is good. This is good, don't get me wrong. I am all for it. Good for them. Do you know who has been nominated for the men's team? That is the big one. Do you know who have been nominated for the men's team? Because there are some very interesting names in that list. Let's just put it that way. Here we go. First things first. Mikel Arteta has been nominated for the Globe Soccer Best Coach of the 2025. And the crowd goes wild, to say the least. Next one. Bukayo Saka for Best Forward 2025. Gyökeres, Globe Soccer Best Forward 2025. And to be honest, I can see Gyökeres being in a top 3 or top 5. Not gonna top 3, top 5. But not for the things he has achieved at Arsenal, but for the stuff he has achieved at Sporting Lisbon, by the way. Then there is Martin Odegaard, Martin No-Showgaard, nominated for the best midfielder of 2025. Martin Odegaard, best midfielder, you know. Best midfielder of 2025. What the actual F are we doing here? Declan Rice, one of the nominated for the best midfielder of 2025. I can see that, to be honest. Declan Rice, I can see. And Miles Lewis Skelly, nominated for Globe Soccer Emerging Player of 2025. And this is also something I think he deserves. For the things he pulled off starting off, I think, late September, October, till the end of the season, I can see that. Declan Rice, I can see that. Gyökeres, I can see that because of Sporting Lisbon. Rest of the 3, what the actual F are we doing here? How the hell is Odegaard for the best midfielder of 2025? Saka for the best forward of 2025? And to top it all off, Super Duper Mick for the best coach of 2025. What the actual F are we doing here? Serious talk. What the actual F are we doing here? So you want to tell me that Arteta is nominated because he has done a better job than, well, pretty much all the managers that have won stuff last year? Let's be real. How is that even a thing? How is that fucking Ghost Guard? Yes. See, Ryan Declan Rice, you got only one of those. Winning nothing. How? Exactly. We won nothing. And how is that a thing? Odegaard. Exactly. Saka as well. What the hell? No Timber. No Gabriel. Not even David Raya. Clean sheets. Golden Glove. Best defensive record in the world and all this crap. None of them are on there. I ain't hoping God for a whole season. This is nonsense. Exactly. This is sheer and utter nonsense. Rice is the only legit one. Gyökeres for Sporting, yes. Skelly as well. For me, Miles Lewis Skelly deserves it. Skelly is not for the best defender of the year award or stuff like that. He is for the for Globe Soccer Emerging Player 2025. Emerging player. Basically bursting onto the scene. And based of the season he had last year, what he did also in 2025, let's be real, coming in, not his position, and what he did, I would agree with that, personally. Taking all my Arsenal bias aside, because he's a midfielder who plays left back, it was a sticky situation. Throughout the whole season, he was just pretty much, toward the end part, he kind of drifted away a bit, but overall, okay, cool. And Sporting for Gyökeres, obviously. I'm not even worrying about the defense in North London Derby, since I think Hincapie or Mosquera can cover it. But if we don't have any of the attacking players back, oh boy, having only Dauman and Wanyeri again. That was the thing, by the way. Against Sunderland, our attacking substitutions were Skelly. Oh, not Skelly, sorry. Our attacking substitutions were Wanyeri, Dauman, and Anush. 3 players, all teenagers, with ages between 15 and 18 years old. Those were our attacking substitutions, and Arteta used none of them. Especially in the 90-plus minute, when he basically was yelling at Trossard, who was dead pretty much, Saka, who barely could open his eyes and was limping all across the pitch, to track back, full sprint to block a cross. You don't think that Anush, Dauman, Wanjeri wouldn't have more pace, more energy, more fitness, more stamina to do that thing? If you want to do that stuff. Plus, they're very good technically. They could also hit them on a counter. Like, come on. What are we doing here? We should call him Odegaard because he instinctively, oh my goodness gracious, that haircut is not helping. Maybe he's still breastfeeding his kid. Who knows what's happening there? Big up Gunnar FC. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up Cooper as well. Big up Cooper. Hope today is going well for you. Smash the likes, people, and subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the likes and subscribe. But yeah, these nominations are kind of wild. These nominations are kind of wild, to say the least. I'm not gonna lie. Mikel Arteta for Coach of the Year award for 2025. So how can you put this guy in the same category as Luis Enrique, who won the treble, Hansi Flick, Vincent Kompany, Arne Slot even, Glasner, and all these guys? Like, it makes no sense. There is no David Raya, no Timber, no Gabriel Magalhaes, none of them. Like, how does that make any sense whatsoever? Saka was injured till what, March? Odegaard was injured. Even if he wasn't injured, he was useless pretty much last year. Again, he was very bad, to say the least. Like, half of these players should not be, or people, like half of these people should not be on that list. Rice, I can see. Gyökeres, I can see, but only for Sporting, not Arsenal. And Miles Lewis Skelly deserves it as well. Rest of the three, what the hell? Like, serious talk. Happy to catch you today. Always love the questions you leave. Legend, bro. Big up to you. Big up, big up, big up. I always try to leave some questions under the stream regarding the stream and regarding the things we discuss. So people, maybe if they are watching this as a playback or they just log in to drop a like, so they see something we have talked about. And maybe they have some opinions on that as well, whether they have watched or not. I tell you, man, Arteta has naked photos of some of these people. Sure, he is doing something there. Some juju is happening, some voodoo maybe, or something like that. Go figure. But something definitely is not right there. Something definitely is not right there. 100%. Like, it's actually kind of insane when you think about it. How does that even work? Go figure at the end of the day. But hey, it's actually nuts. But yeah, ultimately, tough times are ahead of Arsenal. Gabriel injured, Calafiori, God knows. Will even Calafiori play? Will people risk Calafiori? Will we risk Calafiori for the Spurs game? Because wait, let me check. There were no images of Calafiori in the training as well. There was Jesus, Kelly, Arteta, Ben White, Eze, Rice. Yeah, there was no Calafiori in the training images as well. No Calafiori in training images as well. So we'll see. Maybe Skelly is going to play the left back role against Spurs. And last year he did pretty decently against them. I'm not going to lie. These award ceremonies are more about PR to the organization than dishes out the award. They aren't worth any real credibility. True, because how Edu has won the Sporting Director of the Year award in some of these is also a big question mark for me personally. But hey, I prefer not to speak because if I speak, I'm in big, big trouble. Quoting Jose Mourinho, obviously. But yeah, at the end of the day, the money speaks. Whether you like it or not, money speaks, unfortunately. So it's going to be very, very interesting how that develops and how that goes. So time only will tell, but yeah, it's very, 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 very nuts. I'm just scrolling through my timeline. There is some stuff we're talking about. Foden for new contract soon. Austria qualify for the World Cup. Ralf Ragnick is doing his magic. But big up Terry Tibbs, big up. Are these top gunners so oblivious to Arteta causing all these muscular fatigue injuries? They point the finger at everyone, but yep, they are. Because for them, Brazil is at fault, Ancelotti is at fault, the grass was too hard, they sneezed too hard, the lights were too bright, their goldfish didn't have enough dinner for supper, their dog had too much shit when they went for a walk, and all this stuff. Everything's at fault. Sun was shining 2 degrees from the left, a bit more than it usually does, so it kind of impaired Gabriel's vision of the upcoming grass winds that were blowing from below the pitch, so that's why he pulled a groin injury at the end of the day. Something like that. Remember, Ange got London Manager of the Year, wasn't even bothered. At least he won something. At least this guy won something for the Spurs, a European trophy nonetheless. Only thing we have is just dust in our trophy cabinet in those places. We haven't won Champions League. We have won the European Cup that used to be a thing. No Europa League, nothing. We were in one Europa League final where we got smacked in Baku. And we got cheated out in Champions League in 2006. The awards are... Oh, I already read that one. It is more a PR stunt. You think we'll see Mosley Skelly in the 8 to cover so Rice can get a break, or we just keep playing Rice until... Yeah, the second one. We're gonna keep playing Declan Rice until he becomes Declan Couscous, and his hammy turns into mush, basically. That is basically the case. Because also, even after a few games, sometimes Declan Rice looks like he's gonna faint because he has done so much running. It's actually worrying to some extent. That is just a matter of time. It genuinely is just a matter of time. Especially now that Merino cannot go even into the midfield because he has to play striker. And when usually Declan Rice even comes off at times, we put Merino in the midfield and put someone else at striker, right? We try to do that. Anush or someone comes later on, right? Which means that even Merino is getting overplayed, and at some point he's gonna get injured. And if he gets injured, Rice has no cover, and we have no striker on top of all that. So what we gonna do even then? Like, we are running on fumes to some extent. There's a big argument to be made that dark times are coming if we don't proceed with caution. Very dark times might be upon us. But yeah, exactly. How Edu got Sporting Director of the Year award from the same company that's give the awards, that also was the nuts one. How, what, when, why? Go figure. Genuinely go figure. Anyone can answer me this? Anyone can answer me this? How Edu Gaspar won Sporting Director of the Year award? Somehow, go figure how. But hey, I guess beggars can't be choosers and all this stuff. That just shows how good job he's doing at Arsenal. Yeah, sure. Whatever floats your boat at the end of the day. By the way, people, Women's Champions League group phase. Arsenal are drawing 1-1 against Real Madrid women's team at the Emirates, by the way. And the goal was scored, Meadow Park, not Emirates even, Meadow Park. And the goal was scored by Alessia Rousseau, Chloe Kelly's assist. Arsenal just scored a few seconds ago. Arsenal women's team is drawing 1-1 against Real Madrid. Oh, for fuck's sake. I just put it that way. Let's see if our women's team actually maybe can win something, because our women's team also has a buttload of injuries, and you don't see Renee Slegers complaining about anything. She's not complaining. She's going with the flow at the end of the day. She's going with the flow. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, there's VAR checking our women's game, so it might be cancelled, the goal. For fuck's sake. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, people, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. For today, I'm gonna be signing off because, it's late. I need to relax. I need to chill. And I wanna go to bed as well. So take care, people. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed your stay. If you did, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Why they need to go hard on physical and training. I understand the preseasons, get your fitness up for the season, but we are 1/3 way to the season and fitness shouldn't be. But don't forget Kai Havertz last year got injured in Dubai in hard physical training, when it was supposed to be light weather training. See how that goes. But yeah, people, have a nice evening, and I'll see you very, very soon. Peace.